morning. I'm Margot Vaughn on the TMV Network. Coming up this morning, talk about change. The altering kind, not the money. News headlines, what you shouldn't do if you want a good night's sleep. And from The Onion, just what caused the Ice Age. It was all about location, location, location. Here's what's talking to me today. Change. Eeks. Great reading in the inspiration book I have this morning, though. What it said was, I don't have to take on change all at once. I just have to do it one day at a time. That speaks volumes to me because I am one of these creatures that says on Sunday, well, I don't say it, but I think it definitely on Sunday, I'm going to be, or I'm going to do everything different on Monday. For example, this lack of job thing. Lost my job on Friday. So Monday, I'm going to get a job, eat better, exercise constantly, read voraciously, and sleep 8 hours a day. Yeah, right. Totally setting myself up for failure. I am so grateful today that I have some proper perspective on change. You know, the same day that I lost my job, I celebrated 5 years of sobriety. In those 5 years, I have seen an immense amount of change, but it's taken 5 years. Now, if I have an attitude today that it's going to take me 5 years to be healthier, get a job, have peace of mind, have a strong personal relationship with somebody, I give up by Wednesday. I'd probably give up an hour from now. I just can't fathom that amount of change, and it is just overwhelming and it's depressing in that regard, with that kind of attitude. However, time itself has given me such amazing perspective. I heard somewhere that time, T-I-M-E, stands for this I must earn, and it is so true. It's the daily changes that are going to make the difference. You know, I can't lose 10 pounds in a day. I can't have a 20-year yoga practice in a day, and I'm not likely going to be enlightened by 5 this evening. What I can do today, though, and I did this, I made an outline for the week. I did it. I took the advice from my friend Jane Freund's book on self-sabotage. Here's a plug, Jane. It's called Best Friend, Worst Enemy: Overcoming Self-Sabotage in Your Life. In there, she suggests that you draw out a spreadsheet of sorts with the days of the week across the top and the tasks to do each day on sticky notes, right? So you can move the sticky notes around as you need them to get things done you want to accomplish, right, today. So if you have things that you want to repeat, then you can just stick the sticky note on the next day over, right? She talks in her book about any goal that's not something that just gets done. It's the steps that you get done that amount to the goal. She doesn't say it like that. She says it so much better, but the meaning is the same. So today, I took a rather large piece of paper, 12 by 14, something that would stick on my refrigerator, and I wrote the days of the week on top, across the top of it, and then I taped that to my fridge. And then I started sticking sticky notes on it with the little notes like exercise, meditate, resume, apply for a job. This way, as I accomplish each, I can either remove them or put them on for the next day to repeat. That right there is change for me. I had typically written down all the things I wanted to do or needed to do on an old envelope. I like to recycle. There would be like a list of some 20 items, like achieve perfection. That would probably be one of the things that I would have on the list. So right there, it's an overwhelming amount of things to do. And sure enough, on the first day of what I refer to as my big change day, I'd get many of the things done, right? Because I was very enthused. But by the second day, I'd only get 1 or 2 things done. I'd get discouraged. And by the third day, I'd lose the envelope or whatever else I was writing on and go back to my old habits. Usually those old habits include just plopping down on a chair and playing solitaire or something, because at least I wasn't running into frustrations or problems playing solitaire as I saw it. I was just noticing that as I was writing that section and talking about my old habits, I was aware that my shoulders were creeping up until I was wearing them like earrings. Just like the thought of those old habits creates stress in my life. Isn't that amazing? Just a thought. Seems my brain can't tell the difference between real stress and just a thought of stress. And I'll address that in a later podcast. Coming up today, 5 things you shouldn't do right before bed. Plus, I found a little article from The Onion, the parody site, and it reads there, in Science News, they have discovered that perhaps the last ice age was just because Earth floated off into an extremely chilly part of the galaxy. That's all coming up. Statesman headlines reads, disaster in Dayton. The Broncos lost by a point in basketball despite trailing by 12 points at the half. It was some lousy 3-point shot in the last seconds by the other team that did them in. The final score, 56-55. What had been suspected as a suicide has now been ruled an accidental death from a gunshot. A 15-year-old Caldwell boy died Friday afternoon after he was handling the gun that was reportedly stolen. It appears the adult members of the family didn't know he had the gun. The 7-year-old Nampa boy struck by a school bus as he walked to school earlier this week remains in ICU at a Salt Lake hospital. The driver is on leave as the investigation continues. Connor Wright was hit as he walked an unmarked crosswalk at Roosevelt and Beechwood early Tuesday morning. News on the dollar, gas prices up a dime from last Thursday, average in the Treasure Valley now at $2.59. And just ahead, what not to do just before bedtime. Okay, so here's the story on the 5 things you shouldn't do right before bed. You probably know that staring at your phone before bed can keep you awake because the light from the phone says that it thinks it's like it's sunlight, so it doesn't make you sleepy. But here are 5 things you shouldn't do before bed that you might not have known about. 1, don't chug a cold glass of water. Drinking something cold can wake you up. Don't smoke a cigarette. Most smokers think it helps them relax, but nicotine is a stimulant, just like caffeine. Don't play a video game. The light from the TV can wake you up, just like your phone. But playing a game also requires more brain power than just watching TV. So if you play a game and get right into bed, your body isn't ready to sleep yet. You've already woken your brain up. And don't let your pet jump in bed with you. You don't realize it, but you toss and turn a lot more when there's a cat or dog in bed with you. One study found that when people slept with a pet, 63% of them didn't sleep well that night. And don't take a shower. This may sound strange if you're into it, but if you always shower at night, that's okay because your body is used to it. But if you usually shower in the morning, your body thinks it means that it's time to start the day, not end it. Up next, the reason for the Ice Age, according to The Onion. It's just ahead. Yeah, here's one of my funny sources that I love, The Onion. If you have never seen The Onion, I highly recommend it. They have great funny stories about it, but they also do like parody newscasts, and some of the premises that they have is just incredible. Here's the one about the Ice Age. It reads, offering an alternative explanation for the period of heavy glaciation and lower global temperatures, new evidence published by the scientists at the University of California suggests that Earth's most recent ice age was caused by the planet drifting into a particularly chilly part of the Milky Way. While past theories have posited that the last ice age was the result of factors ranging from changes in the planet's atmosphere to the precession of its rotational axis to an ebb in solar activity, our research concludes that the epic long drop in surface temperatures can instead be attributed to Earth having floated through an extremely nippy corner of the galaxy. Perhaps that was Vermont this last winter. Saying a hello to Janelle, who moved out to Vermont this last winter, and we knew they were a little tougher than Idaho winters, but oh heavens, she had no idea what she was getting into. Have yourself a great day, and remember, if you've got a problem, find the solution. If there's no solution, find humor. Have a great day.